If you've ever used the eraser tool in Photoshop, you've made one of the biggest mistakes I see my students make all the time. Welcome to my channel. My name is James. I'm a graphic design and photography teacher, and today I'm going to show you one of the biggest mistakes that my students make all the time, and that is destructive edits versus non-destructive edits. I'm going to break that down into the difference between the two and show you why you want to do non-destructive edits, because it's going to save you so much time in your editing game in Photoshop. For whatever your Photoshop ambitions are, doing the non-destructive edits and adjustments will save you so much time, whereas the destructive edits, you have to continuously redo and start over on those images once you need to make an adjustment later on. And I'll kind of walk through and show what that means. If you're learning Photoshop, if you're learning Lightroom, and you want beginner level explanations for these broad platforms, hit that subscribe down below. I'm pushing stuff out every week for you, breaking it down very beginner friendly level. And from there, let's flip it around into Photoshop. Alright, so here in Photoshop, I already have my images embedded, but again, I just want to kind of show you the destructive edit versus non-destructive. Okay, so and for my project, if I was focusing on putting this water inside of the light bulb, if I don't know what non-destructive edits are, I'm just going to grab my eraser tool and I'm just going to start erasing, right? I'm just going to grab it here. I'm just going to grab that eraser tool and just start kind of cruising around. Oh, but I got into my light bulb there, so I'm going to have to undo a few steps. Okay. Maybe I'll lower my opacity so I can see my boundary here, but okay, so with my eraser tool, my destructive edit, I'm going to have to kind of continue to work my way around. Oh, I missed the light bulb. I'm going to have to undo it. Okay. Oh, did it again. Okay, so just using that eraser tool, it doesn't give you a lot of flexibility to go back and undo or correct your mistakes. Okay, so this is pretty good right here. If I make this smaller. Okay. Alright. But so as I continue making these edits, right, and every time I click on my eraser tool, if I wanted to go back and fix this portion right here, I would have to undo everything that I did prior or after, in between where I'm at and where I wanted when I made that mistake. So I have to hit Control Z all the way back to fix that part. Okay, and so it's just super inconvenient to do so, right? If it's a big thing, or like if I made this, left this blank here, and then moved on and added some fish into the light bulb, or whatever it is that I'm doing. If I wanted to fix that later after using the eraser tool, I would have to just start over and add that water back in, the water image back in, or Control Z all the way back to where I started. Okay, and that's kind of the main problem with destructive edits, is that it's permanent, right? Photoshop, as soon as you use a destructive edit, it forgets those pixels. They never existed. So what I want you to get in the habit of, and I'm going to just Control Z back to the start of this water, is using non-destructive edits. Okay, and what a non-destructive edit is for something like this is going to be your layer mask, which you find in your layers panel, and I'll show you here. So with that water layer selected, at the bottom of my layers, I have this icon, this little rectangle with the circle in it. That is my layer masks. And what that essentially does is it has my image there, and then Photoshop puts a layer on top of it, and then on top of that, I can blend out or hide parts of that image, parts of those pixels, without actually deleting them. It stores and saves that data of those pixels, so at any point in time within this project, I can always come back and fix it. I could go back to a project from a year ago and make subtle adjustments to it if I wanted to, as long as they have layer masks. If it was erased, again, I would have to start over, find those images again, replace them in. Okay, so there's two ways that you can kind of work with these layer masks. Either way though, you're going to need your brush tool and your color palette set to white and black, and then you can switch back and forth. But so the first way you can use a layer mask is you can hide from your image. Okay, and that's when your layer mask right here creates this little like secondary layer icon or thumbnail icon next to your image. When it's white, you're going to hide your image. Okay, and I'm going to lower my opacity down so I can see. And so with that, I need to have my black brush selected, I can go through and hide these pixels. Okay, just a little bit bigger. I can quickly go through and hide these pixels. Okay, but the nice thing here with the layer mask versus just the eraser tool is if I made a mistake, right? If I came in here and I continue to clean it up, I don't have to Control Z all the way back to fix that water blemishes. Okay, all I have to do is switch my color from black to white, and that white is going to restore those pixels at any point in time, whether it's 5 minutes from now or 5 years from now. I can go back and always edit and make adjustments to this photo with that layer mask. Okay, and you can quickly toggle back and forth between your white and black just with your X key on your keyboard to kind of up your workflow a little bit, to speed it up. So that's one way to use layer masks. The other way, I'm going to Control Z all the way out, right back to the start here. Oftentimes I prefer this second method. Actually, I think it's easier to see and to manipulate it. But so here with the white layer mask, you're going to hide your pixels, or I can invert that layer mask and I can press Control I to do so. And now I'm just going to reveal the water spots that I want. So to reveal, I'm going to need the white, and I can just come in here and reveal it where I want, kind of just working in a reverse order here. So layer masks, non-destructive. Hopefully that quick explanation shows you and it helps you see why that can save you so much time, right? If I move on, I can go back anytime and change it. Okay, another non-destructive type of edit that I want you to get in the habit of is your fill adjustments. So instead of adjusting the colors of this image, so if I click on image adjustments, hue and saturation, I want to change the color of my water a little bit. Okay, it's going to be permanent changes to that color. So that color is going to be permanently changed to whatever that is. Or by using a fill adjustment, I can do the same thing. Just that little white and black circle, bottom of my layers. I can go to hue and saturation, do the same thing, hit that colorize, and change my color. I'm going to have to do this clipping mask, so it clips just my water. Okay, but now, right, I can go back to my layer mask. I can, make some changes, and I can always go back into the properties here and adjust those water pixels. I can always adjust it with non-destructive edits. Same thing with the layer mask now. I can come back and fix those blemishes I just made. All right, I hope that helped you out. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Hopefully I broke it down easy enough for you to understand as a beginner in Photoshop. If you enjoyed this video or my style of teaching, please subscribe down below so you can follow along as I continue producing new videos each and every week on various topics within Photoshop and photography as well if you're a photographer. But every week I'm going to do just a kind of a simple basic tutorial, something similar to that of a skill that you need to know in Photoshop, and I often kind of reflect it on the mistakes that my students make in class. So please like and subscribe, leave a comment what you think down below. And with that all being said, see you next time.